Hello there. In this video, we're going to sort of continue our discussion and exploration of factorial expressions with a particular combination of factorials. In particular, we're going to be focusing on something that is referred to as binomial coefficients, which is typically denoted by the notation nk, almost like a fraction but without the bar, with some parentheses around it. So we're going to be looking at how to calculate these binomial coefficients and also look at some ways that we can generate them. Alright, so firstly let us derive or define what a binomial coefficient is. So this is going to be defined to be equal to n factorial over k factorial times n minus k factorial. Now you may see this denoted in another way. You may see this denoted as CNK, where the C stands for combinations, right? So a binomial coefficient is also a way to count the combinations of choosing k objects from a set of n distinct objects, for which the order doesn't matter. But we're not going to be talking about this application here. We usually discuss that in like a combinatorics or probability statistics type of setting. So we'll leave it to them. So let's sort of focus on how to calculate these types of objects. So let's start with the basics. So remember n and k have a minimum value of 0, so let's start there. So what does 0 choose 0 equal to? So this is going to be equal to, by definition, 0 factorial over 0 factorial times 0 minus 0 factorial. So all of these are going to be equal to 1, so that's going to be equal to 1. So let's look at, say, 1, 0. So that's going to be 1 factorial, 0 factorial, 1 minus 0 factorial. So it's going to be 1 over 1 times 1, which is again 1. And one can also find that 1, 1 is equal to 1 factorial, 1 factorial, 1 minus 1. So that's going to be 1, 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0 factorial, which is 1 also, so that's 1. So all of these are 1, so that's not really exciting, right? So let's start to derive a couple special properties that are going to be useful. So let's look at n choose 0, as some people read it as. So this is going to be n factorial over 0 factorial times n minus 0 factorial. So it's going to be n factorial over 0 factorial is 1, times n minus 0 is going to be n. So this is going to be equal to 1, and this is for all n in the set of natural numbers. So that's useful. So also, n choose n is going to be equal to n factorial, m minus n factorial. So that's going to be n factorial over n factorial. M minus n is 0 factorial, which is 1. So that's also equal to 1 for all n in the set of natural numbers. Right? So therefore, when somebody asks you what is the value of 77 choose 77, by this property you can say that's equal to 1. And if somebody asks you what is 105 choose 0, that's also going to be equal to 1. Now, once we start looking at values of k, where these are not equal to n or 0, you're going to get values that are not equal to 1. Right? So let's look at, say, 2 choose 1. So that's going to be equal to 2 factorial over 1 factorial times 2 minus 1. So that's going to be 2 over 1 times 1, which is 2. Let's look at 3, 1. So this is 3 factorial 1, 3 minus 1. So that's 3 factorial over 1 factorial times 2 factorial. So we have 3 times 2 times 1 on the top, 2 times 1 on the bottom. They cancel, just leaving us with 3. And one can also show that 3 choose 2. 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 minus 2 factorial. This is also equal to 1. Also equal to 3, I mean. So I just want to take a moment to look at this through another light. And I'm going to introduce this in a geometric way. And this is going to be referred to as Pascal's triangle. So I'm going to start building the triangle first, and then I'm going to actually describe what the relevance is to this discussion. So I'm going to begin. So I'm going to create a column. This is going to be cut 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? So let me just draw a little table here. Okay, great. So I'm going to begin by putting 1s in the first column. So then I'm going to look at this. So by definition, I'm going to put 0s over here. So then I'm going to take this value, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to it the numbers that are right above the cell and the number to the left of it but above. So in this case, it's going to be 0 plus 1, which in this case is going to be 1. So if I do the same for all of the cells to the right of that, so 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, so we're going to have zeros there. Should look like a 0, not a 9. Alright, so let's move to the next. So if I look at this next cell, if I look at the cell above it, that's going to be 1 plus 1, that's going to be 2. Above this cell, I have 0 plus 1, which is going to be 1. And then if I look at all the cells to the right of it, I'm going to have 0, 0, and 0. So again, this is going to be 2 plus 1, which is 3. This is going to be 1 plus 2, which is 3. This cell is going to be 0 plus 1, which is 1. And the rest are going to be equal to 0. Next, I'm going to have 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. And the rest is 0. And then lastly, 4 plus 1 is 5. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 1 is... wait a minute. Wait, 3 plus 1 is 1? Nah, that's not right. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 plus 1 is 5. And what do we have here? So 6 plus 4 is 10. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 0 is 1. And of course, everything to the right of that is going to be 0. Alright, so I sort of get this little triangle, right? And this triangle definitely does have a bit of symmetry associated to it, right? Right, so we have 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Then we have 1, 3, 3, 1. 1, 4, 6, 6, 4, 1. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So this triangle definitely has some symmetry. It has this little triangular type of shape associated to it. But what's really interesting is that these are actually the binomial coefficients. So the connection is, so K is the column number and N is the row number. So this number here, so this here is 0, choose 0. So this is 1, choose 0. This is 1, choose 1. This is 2, choose 0. 2, choose 1. 2, choose 2. 3, choose 1. 3, choose 2. 3, choose 3. Wait, it should be 0, 1, 2. Then 3, choose 3. And then 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3. And then 4, 4. And then finally 5, 0, 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, and 5, 5. Maybe you don't believe me, right? So let's take this as an example. Let's show that 5, choose 2 actually does come out to 10. So this is going to be by definition 5 factorial, 2 factorial, 5 minus 2 factorial. So it's going to be 5 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, right? So we have 5 times 4 times 3 factorial over 2 times 3 factorial. So we know 3 factorials cancel. On the top we have 5 times 4, which is 20, over 2, which happens to come out to 10. So it definitely checks out. Right? So that's pretty interesting. And this relationship in Pascal's triangle is a very beautiful relationship, and it pretty much comes down to the following result. Namely, n choose k is equal to the row above it, which is going to be m minus 1, the cell above it, and the cell to the left. So that's going to be k plus m minus 1, k minus 1. So this is the claim that Pascal triangle tries to make. So let's actually try and prove this result. So proof. So let's start with the right hand side. So let's look at m minus 1 k plus m minus 1 k minus 1. Let's work on this a bit. Alright, so let's first off start off by writing these in factorial form. So this is going to be m minus 1 factorial over k factorial times m minus 1 minus k factorial plus m minus 1 factorial over k minus 1 factorial times n minus 1 minus k minus 1 factorial. Right, be careful with that. So first off, negative 1 minus negative 1 is the same as negative 1 plus 1. So these cancel. And then we're just going to be left with m minus 1 k, m minus 1 minus k, plus m minus 1, k minus 1, m minus k. So the first thing I'm going to look at is, notice I have an m minus 1 factorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor them out of both fractions. So this is going to give us n minus 1 factorial multiplied by, so we have 1 over k factorial, m minus 1 minus k factorial. Gives us less to look at. Then k minus 1, m minus k factorial. So notice k factorial and k minus 1 factorial are related. So if I multiply top and bottom of this fraction by k, then this becomes k factorial as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out the k factorial out of the fraction as well. And keep in mind this is going to be on the bottom, right? So now this is going to give us n minus 1 factorial over k factorial multiplied by 1 over m minus 1 minus k factorial plus k over m minus k factorial. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this expression just a little bit so the next thing appears a little bit more clear. So this is the same as writing 1 over, rearrange that, so that's going to be n minus k minus 1 plus k over n minus k factorial. So notice that these are the same, except this is shifted down by 1. So what I can do is I can multiply top and bottom by m minus k. And now this is m minus k factorial, and that is the same, so I can factor it out of the bottom. So then I'm going to have m minus 1 factorial times k factorial times n minus k factorial multiplied by, so then I'm going to have just the numerators of these two fractions. So then I'm just going to have n minus k plus k. So minus k and k will cancel. So I'm just left with n times m minus 1 factorial over k factorial times m minus k factorial. And then we know that this is precisely n factorial, right? So we have n factorial, k factorial, n minus k factorial, which is just another way of writing n choose k. So therefore we have proven that n choose k is equal to n minus 1 choose k plus n minus 1 choose k minus 1. Right? It's actually a pretty decent proof. Right? So also remember there is another property that we briefly discussed in the factorial video, and that is the sum from k is equal to n of the binomial coefficients. This is going to be equal to 2 to the power of n. Now, we're not going to prove this here. If you want to try on your own, feel free to do so. But we're going to come back to this theorem later and prove it using another common method of proof. But I hope this gives you some idea of binomial coefficients, how to calculate them, and we're going to look into applications of the binomial coefficients in later videos. Hope you enjoyed.